Yeah, well, hey guys, welcome to the Father's Day Juneteenth edition of our show. We are live on YouTube and Facebook.
And during this live edition, Armondi will update you on his West Coast connections and the ongoing writer strike, and will give you our generational take on politics, sports, and entertainment.
And unfortunately, our family suffered another loss. This show is dedicated to our cousin, or my cousin, Tony Stokes, who is also your nephew. So,
Anthony Augustus Stokes.
Putting that full government out there.
Right. He's got your middle name, and that's the middle name of the Stokes family for 3 or 4 generations. And so we are dedicating definitely the show to him, and we'll talk about Tony in a little bit. But before then, I am Reggie the Boomer.
And I'm Armondi the Millennial. And we are back at it like a crack addict to all those people who are out there on live who got to hear it live.
This is Boomer and the Millennial, the podcast, live on Facebook and YouTube.
Live and direct.
Right. It will also be obviously posted, and you'll receive a notification.
But if you're not in the live, then you're missing out. You know what I'm saying? You haven't heard it here first. You would have heard it second. So,
that's right.
Just saying, just a little humor. Now let me stop.
You know what? I didn't have music, with the Dangerfield Newbies, because I don't really know how to do that.
Yeah, because, you'd have to, maybe you put it on the back end.
Oh, yeah, I will. But I'm saying next time I want to have it, in our live feed.
Yeah. Okay.
So people can hear it. Yeah.
Listen, we're starting out. We're getting the feel for it. So the next time that we do this, it'll definitely be more planned, planned out. And, we'll have all of our, what am I trying to say? Our
elements.
And details squared away and all of that good stuff. So let's dive into it, though. Happy Father's Day. First and foremost to you, my father.
Thank you. Thank you.
Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there, soon to be dads.
Yes. No, I was going to say happy dog Father Day to you.
Yeah, speaking of which, I don't know where my 4-legged son is. He's somewhere. He was in here with me earlier, and I was like, oh, that's going to be so cool. Winston's going to be in here with me during the Father's Day episode, and he is gone. His mom is downstairs, so clearly he loves her more than me. But also, just want to say prayers up for the people who might have lost a dad. If I know sometimes Father's Day and Mother's Day can bring some mixed emotions, not always positive emotions. So prayers for all of the people who, might have lost a dad, or this specific day isn't the most positive.
Right.
We see you, we hear you. And I just wanted to acknowledge that, because that is, that's a real thing that sometimes we don't really touch on. But I do want to say, hey, I love you, Dad. I'm glad you're in my life. I can't thank you enough for literally everything, and teaching me a lot of the things that I know, and just supporting me, and doing this podcast has, I think, brought us closer together. And it is something that I do solely because, I enjoy doing it with you. So shout out to Reggie the Boomer, aka my father. So happy Father's Day. Sorry I can't be there with you, but I'm glad we get a chance to do this, and I'll see you this coming weekend. So give you your Father's Day gifts.
Yeah, it's been a nice Father's Day. So far, I kind of hung out with your mom. She made breakfast for me this morning, and it really is special to be able to do this on Father's Day with you. And you're right. I tell people all the time that doing this podcast for the last going on 3 years, over 3 years now, because we started 3 years ago in March during the pandemic.
Yeah,
and
when everybody was starting to do podcasts.
I know. You couldn't find a microphone back then. I was trying to get a microphone, and they were like, "Oh, we're out," because I was like, "Out of microphones," because you had people doing podcasts.
Right. There were so many things that people were picking up, and podcasts were like, well, I'm in the house bored, I might as well, So.
Or some would-be musician, got a mic and a guitar.
Started making music.
Right.
You know, so
that was.
But it's nice that we've consistently been doing this, and I know, you know, we could be a little bit more consistent. So shout out to the people who, you know, the fans who have been holding us down and sticking with us, even though we haven't been the most consistent. We're trying to be better. So shout out to you guys. So, you know, it's nice that it lasted past the pandemic.
Well, you know, that's true, and we have kind of passed that watershed mark, if you will, when it comes to, you know, the number of episodes, the year, the number of years, the number of folks that are like yourself that are following us. So we have kind of defied the odds, if you will. And, you know, Armondi, we were talking about people who follow us and are fans, and we do appreciate that tremendously. And one of those individuals was Tony. He really liked listening to the podcast. He would, from time to time, text me ideas and suggestions, especially around sports. So,
he was a big sports fan. So
big sports fan and
an athlete.
Yeah. And actually, you know, when Tony was your age, you know, he stayed. You were little. Obviously, but he stayed with us. He was a part of the family.
Yeah,
and
he was like a brother to me.
Yeah, and it was shocking in a way. I mean, we didn't expect it, and we knew that he had issues with seizures, and unfortunately, he didn't survive one about 3 weeks ago. But we celebrate him today and his children on Father's Day. He has 2 wonderful daughters, Anita and Tony, and a son, Anthony Augustus Stokes Jr.
Yeah.
You know, everybody resides in Florida, and we'll be able to, you know, share memories and come together this weekend for the celebration of life. I know you and Nia flying to Orlando. So
we get in early Sabbath morning. So. And then actually fly out that evening. Unfortunately, we can't stay too long after work on Sunday. But, we will be there. We will definitely be there. And it'll be good to see family to just celebrate Tony's life. And, you know, like I said, he was like an older brother to me. So it's hard not having him with us anymore. You know, I think I'm still kind of processing it and everything. The news kind of came at a time where, you know, Nia's family was really mourning a loss and trying to be supportive of her and her family.
Yeah, grandfather
during that time, and then getting the news right before going to Memphis for that memorial service was very weird and a little tough. But I'm happy that we're making it happen to be able to be there. You know, he was at Nia and I's wedding, and so she was definitely like, if you know. I can be there, I will definitely be there. So she actually has to travel for work this week as well, but she'll be back, and then we'll fly to Orlando. So
and one of the reasons that you are kind of in and out is because you have a new gig. Because of the writer's strike, right? Let's update.
Have I talked about that? Have I talked about my new job?
We hadn't talked about your new job yet, but we have talked about the writer's strike.
It's still going.
It's still going. For those of you who, you know, this is kind of a recap. If you didn't know, Armondi and Nia, his wife, and his dog, Winston, they are all residing now in Los Angeles, staying with my sister, Armondi's aunt, Regina, who, by the way, is the showrunner and co-creator of The Upshaws on Netflix. You know, we've talked about, and Regina's been on the show. And,
absolutely.
Of course, she's on strike as a writer. She's been walking the picket lines out there in L.A. And as a result, you went out there to work on The Upshaws, which you did for, about a month or so.
Yeah, I want to say at least 2 months, maybe a month and a half. And then, of course, the writer's strike hit. So, I had to find a little summer gig.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And you're working at my favorite place. What can I say?
Yeah.
You are now a Starbucks Barista.
This is factual.
Yeah.
This is factual. I know it may be very surprising for those of you who know that I've literally only worked in film my entire
Yes. Yeah, your mom and I were talking about that today.
career. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
never really
Since high
had
school.
I've never had a I don't want to say regular job, but like a retail job or something like that. I've worked in film since I've been able to work. Now I've done little things here and there in between things, but never really something like this. So I am currently a barista at the Starbucks in LA off of Sunset and Gower. Which is right down from the studios.
Right.
So if you're in LA, come through to the busiest Starbucks in LA that I chose to work at. But yeah.
Well, if you're gonna be a barista at the best,
Yeah,
the biggest and best store there.
I'm not mad at it. What's
And this
funny
is
is go ahead.
No, I was gonna say this is a place where you would go to get coffee and stuff for the writers and
Yeah.
right. So they knew you. They were
Yeah,
endeared.
the manager remembered my name and
Yeah.
so did some of the other partners, as we're called, not employees but partners.
Okay.
Yeah,
You get a little
listen,
stock?
whatever you want to know about Starbucks, I got you.
So you get a little stock in Starbucks since you're a partner.
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah,
listen,
okay.
it's a lot of like things that like
perks.
like some benefits and perks and
Yeah,
stuff like
yeah.
that. Listen, I'm just here for the free coffee whenever I have a shift that day, and the certain number of food items that I get a week, which is also very awesome, very cool and clutch. But yeah, so.
And let me
know.
ask you this: what's the hardest thing of being a barista, a Starbucks barista?
Well, listen, Thursday was my first day after training. So I was on a register for like majority of the day. And let me tell you, on a Thursday, like in the middle of the day, stressful. I'm sweating. People asking for things. I'm like, I don't even know where these buttons are. Like, I didn't even know we had buttons for these things, right? Like, and of course I went through it with training, and shout out to Jorge who trained me. He was great.
Right,
but the
right.
thing is like, it's different not having him there. He was out of town, so I couldn't even like ask him questions. He wasn't even working at the same time. But luckily, everyone who's been there, all the partners, they're very supportive, and like they understand like, hey, you're gonna ask a bunch of questions. It's better to do that than to mess things up and not ask. And I'm like, oh, I'm not that type of person. I will be asking you. Just don't get annoyed when I ask you the same question multiple times.
Right.
But after today, and I worked from 5:30 a.m. So we opened at 6 this morning to 11 a.m. And let me tell you, it was like after Thursday, I had to go through the fire on Thursday to come out more confident today. I'm over here punching things in while warming food at the same time, going back and forth. Somebody ordered 22 items and 16 of them were food. And it was like, they had like 9 cake pops. I'm like, why do you need 9? Somebody's having a birthday. Like they ordered 9 birthday cake pops. It was like ridiculous. But I'm going back and forth between the register and the warming station and everything. But like, I'm like, yo, I know where stuff is. Like, oh, you need to add an extra shot. Cool. Oh, you want that with oat milk? All right, boom, boom. Oh, we don't have that today. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? But you could try this. You know what I'm saying? So that felt good. We'll see what happens when I go into making drinks. I made drinks on Thursday, too, with no training. And I was definitely asking questions. So we'll see. I work tomorrow, 3 p.m. to 7:30, which isn't bad. So we'll see what happens. I'll probably be on bar, either hot bar or cold bar. Hot bar's a little bit easier just because on cold bar, there's just a lot of steps. So like for making a Frappuccino, there's more steps than you think should be involved. So that
you gotta use a blender with ice. And
it's really not that bad, and it's sort of the same system. But it's also like that on hot bar. So cappuccinos, lattes, flat whites, all of that stuff. Caramel macchiatos are made a specific way, which I did not know. Listen, I could literally go on and on. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to hit me up, and I will tell you how they make your favorite drink.
I have one last question on this. And
okay.
What would you say was the most difficult drink that you had to make? Because I hear people ordering they're off the menu, man. They're like, give me 3 shots of
Yeah.
of espresso
Yeah.
with some caramel,
Yeah.
oat milk.
Let me say this.
Hold the cream.
Right.
Put some honey in it. I don't know.
It'll be like light ice and it's a whole lot of stuff. But let me say this. I will say that it's actually easier when making the drink when you kind of have these modifications because it literally tells you what to put in there. Okay. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where like if you just order let's just say you order a latte, right? Or like a cappuccino, I have to remember, right, that now on the register you can see it, right? How many shots go into that, how many shots of espresso, but at the hot bar, I have to remember, okay, short, tall, or 1 shot, and grande, venti, or 2 shots, right? If it's something like like a specialty drink, right? It's also, the number of shots are also different if you get it iced. So it's like that's what I have a hard time remembering. When you're like, oh, give me a caramel macchiato with 7 pumps of vanilla, a little bit of cinnamon powder, whatever, I can read that off and go, one thing at a time. Right. So it just depends. But yeah, so I wouldn't even say like those are the hardest. Now, sometimes when you're on register and they're saying all of this really fast, and it's like, I don't know what you think, like my fingers can only move, but so, you know what I mean? Like, everybody relax.
Has anybody gotten like
upset with me
or upset with you?
There was one person.
I know LA is pretty chill, but because you're not in New York or even in Atlanta, where people.
But it's busy though, and they have a lot of people who are regulars who like. I sometimes don't understand the concept that like, oh, new people start working here. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, I don't know what your usual is. Sorry. Like, I'm getting there. You know what I'm saying? Give me some time.
Like in Cheers, Norm, like, he wants a beer, right?
Right, exactly. So it's like, I had one person on Thursday. Let me tell you, Thursday was rough, boy. Let me tell you. But I had one person who was a little impatient, like, and you can, like, see that they were impatient and everything. And again, like, especially on Thursday, I was like, hey, this is my first day not on training. If I was taking a long time, I was explaining. Right. And there were a ton of people who were like, nah, it's cool. Like, I totally get it. You're doing a great job. Today, I had somebody come in and say, you're doing a great job. I had somebody on Thursday come in who had seen me during training and was like, oh, are you still training? And I'm like, this is actually my first day not training. She's like, listen, you're doing a great job. And then try to give just me a tip. So I was like, I don't think it works like that. You can put it in the jar. It goes, gets spread out amongst all the partners.
Yeah, you gotta figure that out, man.
Yeah, but like, there's a lot of people who tip there. And today I was I felt like, of course I wasn't perfect. I had to ask some questions, but I felt so much more in the zone. Like it was like, because I knew where things were, and kind of how things worked. I knew where the buttons were, how to do certain things. It was like it allowed me to be more friendly and more engaged with the customer because I wasn't too focused on, okay, where's this button? Did I do this right? So which is great because that's something that Starbucks really values is, engaging, making the customer feel welcomed and feel special and feel seen. And that's how I felt whenever I would go and get the writer's coffee at this particular Starbucks, which was also part of the reason why I wanted to work here at this Starbucks specifically. So, they do a great job of that. And I felt like I was able to wish a couple people happy Father's Day when they came in with their kids. And it just felt good. Like it just, like, you could tell people were like, oh, you know what I'm saying? And we call that creating best moments at Starbucks when, I complimented a couple people, whether they were wearing something really cool. Sometimes I like to compliment frames if they have glasses and I really like them. And it just makes them feel good, and that sort of thing. And I
keeps the tips flowing too.
Hey, you ain't lying. Yeah.
So I'm sure you'll keep us updated. Hopefully it won't be too much longer when all this is over and you can get back to work, but you have another strike looming, and you actually are a member of the Screen Actors Guild, SAG, right? So the potential is, I don't know what you're hearing out there. Happen. Is it going to happen? It's supposed to at the end of the month, right? I mean, if
I believe so.
Yeah, and they still haven't reached a deal with the with the
writers.
writers.
No.
So you may be walking the picket line and working at Starbucks.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. So we'll see what happens.
So, who knew you would get out there in LA? But you are working on some other things, and we'll be
writing some stuff. Yeah.
So
you know, I'm cooking some stuff up. We'll see. Just keep praying for me, people. Yeah. Pray that something's gonna shake, and I feel like God's cooking some stuff up. But because I'm ready to eat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well,
we're proud of you. We're proud of you and Nia and all that you guys are doing. And just one last thing with the update. You were out here for a little bit for jury duty. We talked about it last week. You actually went through jury duty and got off kind of easy.
Didn't get called. It was great. I was there for a couple hours, and that was about it. So it could have been a lot worse.
Yes, it could have.
Yeah.
So you were blessed. By
highly favored.
And speaking of juries,
okay, I'm okay. That was a good segue there. Yes, sir, king of the segues.
There will be some juries coming up at some point. So I did have our political question for you.
Mm-hmm.
He got indicted for mishandling, top secret documents and keeping them in Mar-a-Lago. But do you think, and I mean, and this is from your side, the millennial side. I don't know if you even are keeping up with all of this, but do you think that he should be convicted, or should this even be pursued with him keeping all these documents and hiding them and not turning them over, and eventually this is why he gets in trouble, right?
I really don't know. I mean, I guess it depends on the importance of the documents. I mean,
top secret.
Okay, when you put it that way, maybe.
Nuclear
but I mean,
stuff. What's happening over in the Ukraine and So see, I have the perfect defense for Donald Trump. I've seen the pictures of the boxes, and all he has to do is say he's a hoarder. I mean, he's in his 70s. He's kind of hanging out in Mar-a-Lago. He ain't got nothing else to do. And if he had gotten him some cats and putting them around a box, he probably could have gotten off. It's like, I hoard stuff. I don't even know what I got. I got cats. You know what I mean? I'm telling you,
I don't think it works the same if you're a former president, unless you're Joe Biden.
With top secret. Oh no! I knew you were going to go there.
Yeah, Joe Biden. Listen. Look. We can show you the top secret stuff, but you can't keep it because let's be honest, you're going to forget to give it back. You know what I mean?
I would. Joe Biden said, I forgot. He did have some when he was vice president and even when he was a senator, and I get it. I mean, I would say if he says I forgot, I could.
We would believe him. That's the thing. We would believe him.
I just wanted to know what your take is. I don't know if millennials following this at all. Does it matter? I mean,
here's the thing. I'm going to keep it a stack with you if millennials are, not this millennial, because it's like at the end of the day, whether or not unless he's actually going to jail, if he can still run for president, people are going to vote for him. I don't know if he's going to win or not. I don't know where he's at in the running. But, unless he's in prison or he's not able to run because of the charges or whatever, he's still going to run. He's still going to get votes. I don't know what the outcome is going to be. And you know what? I will worry about it when that time comes.
Okay. I didn't know if you were following it or not. Because
no, not really.
We do the sort of political and current events segment.
I mean, as an adult, I should probably more tapped in with like politics. But it's a whole lot of hoopla majority of the time, and
and nobody really. Your friends, y'all not even paying attention to this stuff.
I mean, I don't know. They might be, but I'm not. But I mean, I'm not necessarily talking to them about what's going on. So
we'll see. Get it. Okay. All right. I was just wondering. And one other thing we got a lot of things happening with the Supreme Court. This is normally the time in the summer and the fall when they make their judgments on a number of things. So. They've ruled on some things, but the student loan is forgiveness piece is still soon to be kind of decided upon. So we should know something this month. they say about whether or not they consider that loan forgiveness that Biden wants to do constitutional, and so we'll just see what happens with that. But this is a time when we see a lot of things that are happening on the Supreme Court. So y'all talk to your friends and y'all kind of follow that.
Yeah.
See what's going on.
Well, I mean, if we're talking student loan forgiveness, you know what I mean? Hey, I'm trying to get that. I'm trying to ride that train. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know much about politics, but if you're forgiving loans, I'm here.
We may not
I want the whole loaf, Lord, not the crumbs, not just the crumbs. I'm thankful for the crumbs, but come on, you know.
And finally, on my side, Atlanta's just, I won't say recovering from Greek Week, but I didn't know that was a thing a couple of weeks ago.
What is that?
You see, it was a weekend where college students and folks just it was like Freaknik, and they just came to Atlanta, and we got off the road coming from Savannah and went the back way around the Clark Atlanta University campus. You couldn't get through. I mean, it was tons of people. And apparently this was a thing for the weekend. There's a video that went viral of a young woman who ended up twerking on the police car.
That's so Atlanta.
Yeah. She was a little bit intoxicated, but yeah, I was just thinking how these things kind of pop up, like Orange Crush Weekend in Savannah. I mean, I guess it's
always something, man. It's always something.
I didn't know if you knew of anything coming up, just so I can reroute my.
I mean, I'm sure there's some Juneteenth things going on. Also, happy Juneteenth.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Shout out to all those people who are off of work.
Right. Yeah.
My ancestors didn't die for me to have to work at Starbucks on Juneteenth, but that's beside the point. But yeah, no, I mean, I know Atlanta had a festival or something like that.
Oh, a parade.
Or is having a festival or something.
Yeah, there were a bunch of things around town, and the parade was yesterday, so.
And it's also Pride Month, so happy Pride for all those who celebrate and support. And so I mean, there's stuff. I mean, the month of June is packed. with stuff.
It's Black Music Month.
Okay,
did you know that? Yeah, and so shout out again.
Well, every day is Black Music Month. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Every month is Black Music Month for me.
Right,
but
it's Black Music Year. But shout out of it. Shout out to the Dangerfield Newbies once again.
Absolutely, and all the Black musicians out there.
Yeah. They got
Black artists.
They got some new a new album or something they just dropped.
Ooh,
so
okay, I'm gonna have to listen. Tap in Dangerfield Newbies. Okay,
Newbies.
Word.
So NBA playoffs, and we can. I know.
This conversation.
Look. We get to your favorite section. I know.
I'm getting fired up about this sports.
I know you just I'm just tolerating this political stuff. Let's get me. I don't know.
Sports and entertainment. What are you tapped into? TV and sports. That's what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm watching. Okay.
I don't follow nothing. Just
the news. Don't know what's going on. Now let me stop. I try to.
You do.
Keep up to date with major things. I guess.
I give you some credit for that.
But yeah, we don't have to. We don't have to spend too much time here. What did I say was going to happen? I said Nuggets in 5. I said Nuggets in 5. Was it Nuggets in 5 or
Nuggets
6?
In 5.
Nuggets in 5. We knew Jamal Murray, Jokic, they showed up. A shout out to the support players, you know what I'm saying? And Denver winning their first championship, being the 20th team to have a championship, which is cool, I guess. You know what I mean? Shout out to the city of Denver. Congrats. So now...
We know one of the teams that's not in the 20.
Not the Atlanta Hawks, no.
Right.
But the Dallas Mavericks are in there, so shout out to our one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was, to be honest, it was boring. Anyone who was really watching this series, if you're not from Denver, it was boring to watch. And we kind of knew what was going to happen. Jimmy Butler didn't really show up. Bam didn't really show up too much. So
yeah, they just kind of got worn down too. I mean, they went to. They had, should have closed out in 4 and ended up going to 7.
Game 7. Yeah, that's really where. Yeah, and you don't have Tyler Hero, so I know a lot of things fall on Jimmy Butler and Bam, but they had some role players really step up, and it was like, okay, great, but where's Jimmy? Where's Bam?
Yeah.
Like you two are the best. You're the star players of this team, and if Jimmy Butler's not dropping 30 plus a night, it's tough. It's just tough. They're not going to win majority of the time. So, that was shout out to Denver. They just had their parade and
they had
last week Thursday.
They had some, shootings and just, look at that many people in a crowd. Yeah.
Wait, what?
They had one person or two people who were shot.
Really? I did not know that.
Yeah.
I did not hear about that at all.
The parade, police officer actually got rolled over his back leg by the vehicle. I don't know, it was some fire truck or something that was carrying, the star players.
That's insane.
Yeah. And he may end up losing his leg, but there was a lot of incidents. You saw the pictures. I don't know if you saw the folk. It was like thousands of people, and I get it.
Yeah, and it's also one of those things where, like, if you're not used to,
yeah,
you know what I mean. This is your first. Yeah,
you're gonna, it's kind of like, I remember when Georgia won their first one, and I think the parade this year was not as big as the parade.
Oh the parade for the back to back kind of like was like, not. It was kind of whack compared to when we beat Alabama. So
right.
So
and one other thing you had mentioned, an incident with the mascot for Miami.
Oh yeah, so Conor McGregor put the Heat mascot in the hospital. Apparently they had to do, I think the mascot's name is Bernie. They were doing some promo for something like during a timeout or something like that, halftime. So that's why you may not have heard about it initially when it happened, but Bernie comes out in boxing gear and they were promoting some pain reliever gel or it was something, and Bernie's gonna need it because he got punched in the face twice, and I don't think Conor realized how hard he punched him, and he had to go to the hospital. He had to go to the ER. So
wow.
Yeah, but like the second punch was so unnecessary. He was already on the ground. Like he punched him in the face on the ground. Like he wasn't even like defending himself. It was like, one punch is definitely enough. I don't understand. Like, regardless if you didn't realize like he's actually in pain, why are you even punching him again? Like, that's so unnecessary. But
that's crazy.
Yeah, so that happened.
That's probably a highlight of Miami's experience.
In
the finals. So we got the Braves in first place as we talk. They're about 4 or 5 games in first place, which is good. They're lose one.
Come on now, this ain't nothing. We ain't new to this. We true to this.
Yeah. So go Braves. We're following. I've been watching them. I'm just surprised. They're baseball's on now. I mean, this is it. The number of games are getting up there. You don't really pay attention till you're about like 70 games in. Then it's like, okay, maybe I'll start. There's nothing else going on. Football is not here, and basketball is over, and it's kind of like, this is when you start seeing all those kind of different sports coming up.
Like cornhole. Cornhole was on the other day, and I was like, well, I mean, it's something competitive. So
this is where we are.
Okay,
in the doldrums of sports. So
right.
But go Braves. Formula One is still going on.
Man.
So that's why I have my Mercedes gear on today, repping Sir Hamilton.
Sir
Lewis Hamilton in the Canadian race.
Yeah, they were in Montreal, which has been good to Lewis. I think he's won like 7 times in that Grand Prix. He got third today, which is good. Unfortunately, his teammate George Russell had to retire the car before the end of the race. He also crashed, and they sort of fixed the car, kept racing, but I guess it had some more issues going on, and so he had to retire. But shout out to Lewis. He's hanging in there. They made some upgrades after Monaco, which, I mean, I understand for
because he's been
the money and everything.
In 5th and 7th.
Kind of struggling.
But this is the first time I remember in a while he's been on the winner's
podium.
Stand, the podium.
Mercedes is obviously working on upgrades. I don't think that they'll be able to catch Red Bull this year, but again, I mean,
You think he'll Lewis will still race again, or
I think he's planning on still being with Mercedes. I think he has a chance next year. I think if they can just keep the car consistent, keep working on the upgrades, because in the last 3 races, it has been a significant difference, and they are really competing now. I mean, let's be honest. I think at the beginning of the season, you had Ferrari really competing up there with Red Bull and Aston Martin, and so now it's sort of Red Bull, Mercedes, and Aston Martin. And that's mainly because Aston Martin has Fernando Alonso, who used to be Hamilton's teammate at one point. He is a veteran, just like Lewis, and a fantastic driver. It's kind of hard not to like Fernando Alonso. But yeah, I think if he sticks in there, we'll see what happens next year. But he is 4th in the drivers' championship standings. So, and I think Mercedes-Benz might be 3rd. They're either 3rd or 2nd, I want to say, in the Constructors' Championship, which is, for the teams. So we'll see. We get a break in Formula One as well, midway through the season. So we still got a good amount of races left to go. So we'll see what happens.
Okay, good. I mean, well, all right. Speaking of rain, the reign of the program Succession is now over on HBO. How was that?
Oh, I thought you were going somewhere else for that.
No.
But I thought you were talking about like Georgia or something.
Oh, no. I was going to segue into our entertainment.
Yeah, okay. You still got it. I didn't watch Succession, but everybody loves it, so.
Yeah, your mom and I started watching it. For those of you who are fans, it is, the series is over. It was, for a series finale, it was okay. And I think that it kind of ended the way I thought it was going to end. I'm not going to go into it, but anyway, it's a good series. It's interesting because their dialogue is so different. I've noticed. Yeah, they do a lot.
They say it's good.
They see a lot of uhums and and ums and okay, and it's broken. Like you used to dialogue on a show kind of flowing, and their dialogue is really kind of broken and.
But that's kind of how we talk,
the way people talk. Yeah.
Right.
So it's almost like it's improv. It's not, but that's the way it feels.
Yeah. But I mean, it feels believable. That's the thing. Like, that's what I like. Or does it not?
Well, it does. It's just that you're not used to it. The characters are way out there, obviously. I mean, they're over exaggerated. I'm guessing. I don't know. I mean, with ultra rich 1%ers, how they act. Or maybe a more really true portrayal of how crazy and idiotic they are. But it is a good show. Very well written. The another series finale. A lot of series is ending. Manifest ended. I think having an ending to this, because it was really kind of out there and you're trying to put all the pieces together, it was a good thing. I could tell that you're very excited about Manifest, Armondi. Maybe this will excite you more. Ted Lasso, season finale or series finale? That is the question.
So, let me tell you, that show is so good, man. I love a show if like I'm watching it and I'm like, man, this show is so good. Yeah. Man, it's so well written. I think it's done. I think it's done. Spoiler alert, or if there will be spoilers if you haven't watched Ted Lasso, and if you haven't watched it's like I can't tell you to watch Ted Lasso and then spoil it, but you should be watching this show. You should be watching this show. But yeah, I don't think at one point when Henry and his mom were watching the match, and the mom's new boyfriend, I forget his name, wasn't really into it. Yeah. I was like, oh, Henry's gonna decide to live with Ted in England so he'll get to stay. And then when that didn't happen, I was like, I think he'd much rather be with Henry. I don't know.
And leave England, leave the team.
I really would like for it not to be over.
And they did leave room for it not to be over. I mean, they can still connect the dots so it's not over, or they can walk away and it'll be, given what happened,
it'll still be a legend of a show.
Yeah, everybody will be.
Do you think it could survive without Ted?
No.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. I think you can do it without him, without the lead character. But I just think that the show is called Ted Lasso for a reason.
Yeah.
And he's just the glue that kind of holds everything together. I think, I don't think you can do it. I know there's some concerns about him coming back, and he's the main reason, right, that they may not come back. It's like Yellowstone. Big fan of Yellowstone, been watching it. Supposedly the next series is coming out in I think this fall, so Kevin Costner doesn't want to do it anymore. He's had a falling out with the show's producer, so now it's kind of like he's pretty much done. And they got Matthew McConaughey is coming in to do kind of a spinoff. They already have 2 spinoffs from Yellowstone, but I think Yellowstone without Kevin Costner, you can continue to do it for a while, but I think it's like Succession when, for those of you who haven't watched it, I'm just turn the volume down, but when the father dies, in Succession, he's the main one of the main characters of this thing, and so. You knew then that this was going to be the final season. You could have 5 episodes, but you couldn't have another, or 4 episodes left.
Right.
But you could have another season.
Okay.
So I think Yellowstone's the same way. I think if Kevin Costner doesn't come back, I don't see Yellowstone.
It's not going to survive.
Having a whole season without him. They may kill him off. Right during the middle of the final season.
Gotcha.
The series finale. But anyway.
Right.
Silo is something we've both been watching.
Also a really good show on Apple TV if you haven't seen it, Silo.
Yeah, you got me connected to that. Another apocalyptic.
Or post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, I love those. I don't know.
That's just because it like picked up. Like episode 2, episode 3, I was like, yes, then, like keep going, like this is what we need. And then like they just are very slowly revealing things, and it's sort of like, okay, we just got episode 8 on this past Friday, and it's sort of like, all right, like I mean,
I know.
Like, can we speed this up a little bit? You know what I mean? Like, so I'm with you.
6, 7, and 8 were like, really slow.
Yeah, 2, 3, and 4.
And
I was like,
revealed.
We're in it.
And nothing was revealed.
Well.
Not really.
They had to tell the mom backstory, which I thought was very interesting. But it was also like, true. Okay, like where can we get to? Listen, I don't want to spoil Silo. But check it out, people. It is a really great show. I mean, let me not say that. I think it's a good show. You may not, but I will also say I'm picky when it comes to TV.
I tell your mom, it's like they're gonna come out of the silo and then they're gonna be on the campus of Oakwood University.
You're stupid.
For those you don't know, Oakwood is in Huntsville.
Stupid. That's terrible.
They have 2 silos on campus.
That's actually that's pretty funny.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, like that's pretty funny.
They come out, it's like, where are we? So, we'll see what happens.
Stupid.
With
we probably got 2 more episodes.
Yeah. Oh, and one other thing, I did, and I know we're getting to the end here. For all the boomers out there, if you get a chance, I'm trying to think where it might have been Peacock. I'm not sure, but if you get a chance, watch Purple Rain. Just saw it come up and watched it, and had the music go through the sound bar, and it, your mom was in here.
You love that sound bar.
Thank you for the sound bar, by the way, as well as the laser printer. So thank your wife for that.
I will.
But yeah, it was really nostalgic, really kind of cool to watch it. Morris Day and Prince and Apollonia and all those guys. So, and if you're a millennial, check it out. If you haven't watched Purple Rain and Prince, it's a classic, man. Have you seen it, Armondi?
No, I haven't.
You have got to watch it. It's a classic.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
I mean, Prince is a legend, so
yeah. Oh, yeah. And he basically, this is kind of his story. So
I figured.
And it's filmed at the place that made him famous in Minneapolis. So the actual club name is the same. The manager, I never knew this till I read the credits. The manager of the club plays himself in this.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
And so it really is how all of these, the time and the revolution and Prince, how they all kind of came together at this club to perform and became famous as a result. So it's good. It's a really good.
Okay, word.
Yeah,
I'll check it out.
Any books, summer reads coming up for you?
Not anything that I haven't already, like just the Enneagram
Stuff
book. I'm still working on that. So probably the same ones for you too.
Oh, absolutely.
I figured.
Trying to get ready for vacation and getting the. I signed up for the Kindle Unlimited, for the summer. I don't have a Kindle. Okay. So it's like, oops. So
I was about to say you.
No.
Oh, but I mean, you can.
Well, you can get it.
Can you get it on your phone?
You can get it on your phone. Computer. I don't know. I
You'll
get so
find
much
something.
other things. I think about James Patterson or reading something, but I got so many other books I need to be reading. I got bookmarks in like 5 books where I'm just sort of need to finish.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
So we do have our book club online at boomandthemillennial.com. So we're featuring some books. I do know a couple of people, Armondi, that we know that have written books, and I'm just real intrigued by anybody, I say this all the time, that has the fortitude and the creativity and just to be able to write a book. And we like to feature those people that we know that have written books. And so we're going to start, putting more of those on the website. Again, it's boomandthemillennial.com. We are streaming for the first time, I think, I hope, probably. I don't know. But we're going to do.
I guess we'll see once we're done.
That's why you don't leave this to a boomer to do.
It's okay.
So I don't know how any of this works. But here's
It's a great idea, though.
Here's the thing. If it did work, indeed, we will continue to do it. And I will start promoting it more. And we'll, have the music and everything. So the next time it'll
be a whole situation. Yeah. So shout out to the people that are here. Hopefully, I don't know. I don't know if you're there.
And I'll have it up so we can monitor comments and stuff like that.
There you go.
All 3 of them.
Yeah, because that'll be cool. Like answering questions mid podcast. Like that'll be, you know what I mean, or talking about certain things that like if you're tuning in, like you may want us to talk about. That would be cool. So.
Yeah, we're going to have some guests on. We actually thought about doing it this show, but since we were going live, we were just kind of testing this out. But we've got a couple of people lined up to talk about some of the things going on with the Supreme Court, writers' strike, actors. So we do have some folk coming up on our next show. But I do want to just wish everybody, the guys out there, happy Father's Day.
Shout out to my father-in-law.
Yes, your father. That's right. You have a father-in-law now.
Yeah, I got 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so that's right. Yeah. That's right. And happy Juneteenth to everybody.
Yes, absolutely.
And thank you so much for tuning in. And don't worry, this will also be posted and distributed through all of your podcasting platforms, Apple, Podbean. I like to say Podbean, Stitcher. What are some of the other ones?
Spotify.
Thank you. That's the one I saw in my mind.
Literally the main 2.
Yes,
Anyone who's a millennial is not using the other ones that you mentioned. But okay,
sorry.
It's just Apple and Spotify.
Well, okay, I couldn't think of Spotify because Prevagen.
Okay, that's why a millennial is here.
Thank you so much. Yeah, Prevagen I did not take, and thank you, Dangerfield Newbies, for the music that you will hear on the podcast release of this particular show that we are doing on YouTube Live and Facebook Live. Anything else you got? Follow us on social media.
I was gonna say that if we had the social media up, and I understand that's on me. It's just been a lot going on the past month, as I'm sure you are aware.
Well,
so
I will.
I'm working on it.
Yeah, well, I will see you this weekend. You and me. Safe travels.
Same for you guys.
Thank you.
Are you guys flying or driving?
Driving. Yeah, gonna break up the trip, man. We're old folks.
Yeah. No, I know.
7 hours.
That's the best thing to do. It's
we're just gonna get down to Savannah, rest up, and then get up early, and head down for the weekend.
Word. Okay. But, I'll see you then.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you before that, but I'll see you.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. If you're listening to the podcast part of this, we appreciate you. And we will make sure to promote our next live event. And we can, maybe we just do this every time we do it. Since we're remote anyway.
Yeah.
You're on the screen. We can
and
get
if
our
you,
guests
it
on
makes
the
it
screen.
easier.
Yeah,
yep.
It sure does. So let us know, comment, reach out to us at boomandthemillennial.com. I'm going to tell you, I want to make a promise right now. We're going to have all of this social media stuff set up when we do our next show next month. Okay? All right. I'm depending on you.
Smile and wave, boy. Smile and wave. Yeah, no. Okay.
Well,
I got you. Yeah.
Until then, I am Reggie the Boomer.
And I'm Armondi the Millennial.
And
we're out.
We're out. Peace.
Peace.